What's going on, everyone? So this season is going to be very interesting for Rui Hachimura. We saw in the presser, Rob Pelinka was even asked about Rui, kind of the contract extension. You're very high on Rui. Rui's been very good for you. Why doesn't he have a new deal? What is going on? And Rob Pelinka said, hey, we don't make it a practice here of talking while we're in the middle of negotiations. Now, are they actually in negotiations with Rui Hachimura? Or is that just a way to kind of deflect and not have to answer the question, right? He's your largest expiring contract. He might be your best trade asset as far as if you're trying to, unload. He's kind of like a guy that's although he's been very good for us and to his credit has filled in, played the role about as good as he can, as anybody can for just being a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, right? The guy is a guy that can get buckets. He's a guy that can self-create. He's one of the best mid-range games in all of basketball, but doesn't really get the opportunities. Basically been relegated to a catch-and-shoot 3-point shooter in the corner, but he doesn't have the defense side of things. He doesn't have the lateral quickness and movement and the defense abilities to stay in front of guys, right? There's a lot of just questions about Rui Hachimura. You look at this team and the starting or potential starting unit, and it's who's the biggest glaring hole in odd man out, right? It's Rui Hachimura. You can make an argument for Austin Reeves as well because of the similarities and redundancies playing alongside Luka Doncic, but Rui Hachimura is the guy because you really need that athleticism, right? Even if you get rid of, even if you were to move Austin Reeves to the bench, you still are probably in your best interest to move Rui to the bench as well. So to me, this season in particular, I do think Rui probably is on another team by the trade deadline. I think next season he probably is for sure on another team because I think the best option and what is most likely going to happen is Rui ends up being a sixth man. And I think it makes sense for multiple reasons. Obviously, the obvious reason is hey, we need athleticism and defense injected in the starting unit. But also, I think another big piece is the Lakers were the dead last in bench scoring. Rui Hachimura could help a ton with that. The problem is will he buy in and embrace it? Because we have seen Rui Hachimura in the past get bench and just check out. Right, we've seen Rui Hachimura get benched and it messes with his head. Right? And you can try to frame it however you want no, it's not a demotion. It's just everyone knows it's a demotion. You're going from, yes, it might be best for the team. Yes, it is, both can be true. Right? It can be all of these reasons, so don't look at it as a demotion, but it's still a demotion. You're going from being the starter to the 6th, 7th, 8th guy, right? It's a demotion, right? But it still makes sense because of all the things you listed, right? But can Rui really buy in and embrace that? Because Rui starting and giving us 13 points a game won't be nearly as impactful as Rui coming off the bench and giving us 13 points a game. And I understand it's the same point total, but again, it's the injection of defense, versatility, kind of getting that guy. If Marcus Smart can go and give it, the likelihood of Marcus Smart starting and having a bigger impact overall is higher than him coming off the bench. But Rui still has the capability of still giving you the offensive production because you're not looking for him to give you the defensive production. Also, Rui can play his natural position of the 4 more because he could be your primary backup for LeBron James, right? So starting 5 could be Luka, Austin Reeves, Marcus Smart, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton. Personally, I want it to be Luka Doncic, Marcus Smart, Jared Vanderbilt, or Jake LaRavia, LeBron James, and DeAndre Ayton. But I digress. Point is, probably be the starting 5 we think it is. Just Rui goes to the bench, Marcus Smart is a starter. Now your bench is Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia, Rui Hachimura, and Jackson Hayes. And you're kind of, trickling those guys in and matching the lineups and rotations based on, key matchups or whatever, right? Probably not going to just do these hockey shifts, right, with that. But I could see, whatever, Reeves goes to the bench and like Reeves and LeBron go to the bench together, and maybe like Vando and Rui move into the starting unit. Now you got that. Now you got those three with Rui Hachimura at the 4, and then Ayton at the 5 type thing. Like, and then Rui, his ability to play the 3 or the 4, I think he'll still get similar minutes. It's just probably won't start, probably won't close unless he's just shooting the absolute lights out. But again, that's what's best for the team. But does Rui really buy in and embrace it? That's the key. Rui Hachimura, again, has really adapted. He's done everything the Lakers have asked. He's adapted and fit seamlessly, even despite everything. I mean, he was one of the few bright spots in the playoffs in the Minnesota series. His defense was so bad. I mean, his defense just like cratered. Right? But that's because, again, Minnesota's long, athletic. They have foot speed, right? Like, he's defending Jaden McDaniels, who just quicker, more twitchier, more athletic than Rui Hachimura. So it's a tough matchup for him, right? Like, but now Rui off the bench, you can better maximize Rui. I actually think Rui could be better and average more points and all that. Like, I could see Rui giving you 15 to 20 off the bench, because you might be able to make him more of a focal point and fixture in the starting unit. Talked for years about how I'd like to see the Lakers kind of run through Rui a little more. Right? I'm not saying every possession. I'm not saying he's your number one offensive option or anything like that. But like especially in a bench role, bring him off the bench and kind of maximizing him as a 6th man. But how many times have we seen the Lakers get into scoring droughts or get into these spots where they just can't buy a bucket, right? Like, Rui as a advantaged player, as a guy that is a mismatch on most matchups, put him in the spots, put him on the block, give him the basketball, let him just go make a play. Again, he has one of the best mid-ranges in all of basketball. He's a guy that can score the basketball with the best of them. Like, give him those opportunities. Lakers just don't really maximize him well enough. Again, he's kind of just relegated to be this catch-and-shoot 3-point shooter. So we'll see. Like, Rui's out here working with LeBron, and he's been working his tail off. And then now it's like, well, great job this offseason. We're happy for you. Now you got to be the 6th man. It's like, is that something that Rui... To me, it really is going to boil down to buy-in. If Rui Hachimura buys in to playing whatever role is asked of him, Lakers are going to be very good, very tough, and very scary. So watch out. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? You excited for Rui this upcoming season? That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.